You think Google makes money from, well, what exactly? You've used Google search 10,000 times and never paid it a cent. Gmail is free. Maps is free. YouTube? So how is the company that runs all of it worth more than almost any business on earth? Here's the answer most people never quite put together. You are not Google's customer. You never were. The search box is free because you're not the one paying. The real money comes from an auction you never see, running silently, billions of times a day, every time you type a question. Here's how it looks from the outside. Google makes things, and you use them. Search, Android, Chrome, Maps, now YouTube. The most used software products on the planet, and the price tag on every one of them is $0. So the casual story is genuinely confusing. If the products are free, where does $350 billion a year come from? People reach for the easy answers. Maybe it's the Pixel phones. Maybe it's selling your data. Maybe it's Google Cloud, the part where actual businesses pay Google to run their computing. And cloud is real money, about $43 billion in fiscal 24. That sounds like a lot. But against Alphabet's total of around $350 billion, cloud is a minority of the business. It's not the engine. So if it isn't the phones, and it isn't mainly the cloud, and it definitely isn't the free search box, then what is paying for all of this? So where does the money really come from? Advertising. Almost all of it. In fiscal 2024, Alphabet's advertising revenue was about $264 billion, roughly 75% of the entire company. 3 out of every $4 Google brings in come from showing ads. And the biggest single piece is the one tied to the thing you thought was free. Google search and related advertising alone was about $198 billion in fiscal 2024, more than half the whole company, from ads placed against search results. Add YouTube ads, about $36 billion more, and the shape is unmistakable. Google is, financially, an advertising company that happens to run the world's most useful free tools. The search box you use for nothing is the single most valuable advertising surface ever built. Not because Google charges you. Because of what you tell it. Every time you type a query, you announce, in plain words, exactly what you want, right now. Best running shoes. Plumber near me, cheap flights to Madrid. That's not idle browsing, that's intent. And intent is the most valuable thing in advertising, because a person who just searched, plumber near me, is minutes away from hiring one. Google doesn't sell you the search. It sells advertisers the chance to stand in front of you at the exact moment you're ready to act. Now, here's the machine that actually does it. And it's more elegant than most people realize. When you hit search in the fraction of a second before the page loads, an auction happens. Advertisers have told Google in advance which kinds of searches they want to appear for and how much they're willing to pay. The instant your query comes in, Google's system runs a real-time auction among them, ranking the ads by how much each advertiser bids and how relevant the ad is, and places the winners at the top of your results. You see a couple of labeled ads above the regular links. Behind that, an auction with thousands of competing bids just resolved in milliseconds. And in the common setup, the advertiser pays only when you actually click. No click, no charge. So follow the money. The advertiser pays Google. You pay nothing. You're not the customer. You're the product being matched. Your attention, and more precisely your intent, is the inventory Google sells, and the auction is the mechanism that prices it. Multiply one search by billions of searches a day across the planet, and you get an advertising business larger than most national economies. All flowing through a box that costs you nothing to use. And notice how cheap that inventory is to produce. A television network has to make the show before it can sell the ad break. A magazine has to print the pages. Google doesn't make the content, you do, with your query. You arrive having already decided what you want, you type it in, and in doing so you hand Google a perfectly targeted advertising slot for free. There's no studio, no printing press, no production cost on the thing being sold. The user supplies the intent, Google supplies the auction, the advertiser supplies the money. That's why a free product can be one of the most profitable businesses ever built. The most valuable part of the inventory is created by the very people who pay nothing. And now the strangest part. Google spends staggering sums to keep that free box in front of you. Remember the deal where Google pays to be the default search engine on other companies' devices. Antitrust case against Google. Testimony put the payment to Apple alone at roughly $20 billion in a single year. Just to be the search that opens by default. $20 billion to make sure you keep searching on Google without thinking about it. Why pay that much for free traffic? Because the traffic isn't free at all. It's the raw material of the auction. Every default search you make is another query fed into the machine, another slice of intent to auction off. The free product isn't generosity, and it isn't a side project. It is the supply line for the real business. The more you search, the more there is to sell. That's the whole inversion. In a normal company, the thing you use is the thing they sell. At Google, the thing you use is the thing they give away to manufacture the thing they actually sell. Your attention at the moment of intent. The free search is the bait, the auction is the business. So here's what Google really is. Not a search company that runs some ads, an advertising auction so large it can afford to give the entire world free search, free email, and free maps just to keep the queries flowing in. The product is free precisely because you were never the customer, you were the inventory. Once you see it, the pattern is everywhere in the modern internet. If a powerful service costs you nothing, look for the auction running underneath. Someone, somewhere, is paying for your attention, and the free thing exists to harvest it. The social feed, the free email, the free map. They all run on the same hidden engine. Next time we follow a company that owns no cars, employs no drivers, and still takes a cut of every single ride. That's Uber. And the money is in the slice, not the trip.